Good morning and welcome back to my channel. Today I am recording my first Halloween vlog, which is crazy to say. I never thought that I would be in this position, but here I am with my daughter, my husband, and I am so excited to be able to dress up with them for the first time, enjoy my family's Halloween party, and just let loose for a little bit. But I'm recording this for not only just sharing our cute little moments from Halloween, but also because it's so interesting to me to look back through the years and see how life has changed, especially on these holidays. I feel like holidays have a special way of capturing all of the different unique stages of life we go through. I look back at my photos from last Halloween and I'm with my husband, fiance at the time, and we're dressed up, enjoying life without a care in the world. And the last thing we would think is that the next year we'd be bringing our own child to this exact same Halloween party. But here we are. One of the other things about Halloween is I find it to be a really fascinating time for self-reflection. I think a lot of people think of New Year's Eve and New Year's as a big holiday for that. But Halloween in itself is very transformative. We see it in the way that we dress up as characters and as monsters during Halloween, and then the next day go about our daily lives as if it never really happened. One of the interesting things we can do, though, is kind of use this as a shift to our paradigm, especially as moms and in motherhood, or dads even in parenthood, is the idea of dressing up for Halloween, right? We put on these costumes and we choose to embrace this character. But I think that we can also take this into parenthood and think of when we wake up in the morning, who do we want to be? Now, we're not always putting on a superhero cape, but to our children, we can be a superhero. We get to choose to have an attitude that lifts them up and lifts up the atmosphere of our home, which I think is crazy and magical. Our kids look at us and they see the princess or the prince in the fairy tales. And this is something I think that can be easy to take for granted, but important that we don't. The way we show up in the world, not only as moms and dads, but as friends, relatives, etc., is completely a choice within ourselves. And I find one of the fascinating things about this is also not only can we put on a demeanor and be able to affect people in the outside world with it, but we also facilitate change within ourselves. Now, you see this with children when they put on a superhero costume. If you ask a child, they often will tell you that they feel like a superhero. They feel brave, they feel strong wearing that costume. If they put on a firefighter costume, they're going to feel more brave, or a princess costume, they might feel more beautiful and pretty. The interesting thing is when we put on that attitude and we carry ourselves with the demeanor of, I'm going to be the mom my child needs today. I'm going to be the dad who shows up authentically for my child in the ways that they need. We oftentimes find that this creates a change within ourselves as well, where we look in the mirror and when we show up that way day after day after day, even when we're feeling like, I'm not feeling it today. I'm not feeling like Supermom. I'm not feeling like the dad that gives it their all, but you show up anyways. What we see is that this actually changes our image of ourselves, because the way we view ourselves is not only through our internal lens, but also through the actions and the memories that we're creating every day. I think the other really interesting thing to think about with Halloween is, when did we stop making these little moments so special and impactful, not only for our children, of course, but for ourselves? Now, I've seen a lot of parents walking around on Halloween, trick-or-treating with their children, dressed in regular clothes, grumbling, rolling their eyes, and it breaks my heart when I see that. And here's the reason why. It is understandable that Halloween isn't this big event for you anymore when you enter adulthood. However, wouldn't it be so magical if our children could experience that with us? If we could get involved in their view of the world as such a fascinating place and see things through the eye of a child. Now, every day, of course, we can't always do that. There's bills to pay, cleaning to be done. But sometimes, especially on holidays like this, I think it's important that we take a break and we truly embrace what it means to see the world as this magical place. Now, for me, of course, you can see in this vlog, I had chores to be done. I have to do the laundry. I have to take care of the dishes. However, I also have this beautiful opportunity to find little ways to make it a little more special for my little one. Now, the way that I do this is, of course, I'm reading a themed book today that has a spooky little scorpion. I am creating a special lunch that you'll see in a minute that is, of course, a stuffed pepper jack-o'-lantern. Little things like this, although she might not remember. Of course, in these little moments, she won't remember them at all with how young she is. They still create an atmosphere that brings her mood up, her energy up. And it's something that me and my husband too will be able to look back on and think, how magical were these holidays? They weren't just something that we had to do for the children, but something that we got to do with the children. Speaking of those stuffed jack-o'-lantern peppers, I am going to take a little break here and talk about them because they were freaking delicious. I went ahead and I preheated my oven to about 425 degrees. I got out 2 of these orange peppers. I actually had them on sale at Walmart in this pack, so I'm going to use the red pepper later this week. I mixed up that, a can of chicken, some black beans, a little bit of salsa, and some cheese. And then I went ahead and I stuffed the peppers in once I had cut out some holes for the eyes and mouth just with a little paring knife. I put them in the oven and I let them cook for about 15 minutes or so. And oh my gosh, guys, they were delicious. I cannot express enough how much I love them. I feel like this would be a fun little treat to do, even if it's not Halloween, just because it's so fun and seasonal for fall. Now, the other thing that has come up for me that I've been thinking about today is the fact that in this scary world, we are our children's safe place. Now, you see this with children trick-or-treating and running to mom and dad as soon as they see one of the scarier houses on the block, or a teenager wearing an impressive costume with tons of blood and gore and all of that. That's just too much for them. And I think the beautiful thing about Halloween is it teaches us that we don't have to necessarily protect our children from ever encountering any evil or dangers in the world. It shows us that even though there's going to be spooky, scary stuff waiting around the corner for them, we're still allowed to be their safe place, no matter what stage of life they're going to enter. I feel like, especially today with all the technology and the way the world has changed, there is this idea of being so terrified that our children are going to have to encounter hardship or really evil things in the world. And there's this feeling like you have to protect them from it. Now, of course, protecting them as much as you can is any parent's responsibility. But I think more than that, being their guide and being their safe place is one of the most special things that we can do in this world and in this life. I feel like Halloween is a great example of that, and this is a lesson that we can carry with us every day in parenting. I hope you all had a wonderful Halloween and that you were safe and enjoyed every moment of it with your family and the ones you loved. This was a really nice opportunity to kind of talk with you guys and share some of these moments, but we'll have lots more videos like this and other informative kind of content coming soon, so make sure you're subscribed. Go ahead and give this video a like if you like it. That is my daughter in the voiceover if you hear grunting. But with that being said, I love you all and I hope to see you soon. Bye.